Your kids, buying a new home, or planning for the future, we're here to help every step of the way. With personalized service and flexible options, we make banking easy for your growing family. FNB Bank, serving families, strengthening communities. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
3 days of exciting high school basketball are on tap in Goodland, December 12th through the 14th. As the 36th annual Topside Tip-Off returns as one of the area's premier holiday tournaments. Teams from Kansas, Colorado, and Nebraska will take part in the 24 tournament in girls and boys divisions. Team champions will be crowned December 14th, along with a selection of all tournament teams, free throw shooting champions, and the boys and girls three-point shootout winners. Don't miss the fun and excitement of the 36th annual Topside Tip-Off basketball tournament at Goodland's Max Jones Fieldhouse, December 12th through the 14th.
This holiday season, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware has the perfect gifts to make Christmas merry and bright. Need something special for that grill master? Check out their top line of grills and griddles from Blackstone, Traeger, and Weber. Guaranteed to make their holiday sizzle. Stocking stuffers, they've got you covered with tools, gadgets, and must-haves for every DIYer in your life. And tackle winter head-on with their powerful Eco snowblowers, perfect for clearing the way this season. Plus, spruce up your home for the holidays with a fresh coat of Benjamin Moore paint, or get ready for the new year with a stunning remodel. Enjoy the holidays this year with Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, with locations in Goodland and Colby.
Ready to elevate your drive? Hurl Chevrolet GMC has unbeatable offers on the 2024 lineup. Right now, get 0% APR on the powerful GMC Sierra 1500 with a 5.3-liter engine, plus over $3,200 in trade assistance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Or step up to the 2024 Yukon with 5.9% APR for 72 months and make no payments for 90 days. These are the deals you've been waiting for to drive the best of GMC. Visit Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas today, or online at hurlchev.com.
Your livelihood is important to you. You work hard to succeed in your farming operation, crop, livestock, home, vehicles, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery, ingestion, and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland, or call 785-899-5011.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4!
It's the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
If you want to win in football, it all starts up front. Mass kicks ass.
The region's only local sports talk.
Listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about.
Broadcasting on Goodland's Rocket 102.5. Simulcasting on Goodland's 730 Gold KLOE.
Guys everywhere.
Discussing it all from the preps.
Showtime for the Lady Eagles.
To the pros.
McKinnon is in at running back. First down and goal to go. Play action fake. Right side throw. Touchdown! Kansas City!
The Blitz is presented by Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank, as well as the Insurance Agency, Farmer State Bank in Oakley, the Cowboy Corner Express, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell.
Gotta work.
Here's Brumbaugh with a quick three from the right side, and Brady puts it in, pointing three fingers to the sky as he splashes in his first attempt of the season.
Here's Hawkins. Coleman. A screen for Hawson. Three-pointer at the top. Oh, my goodness, he hit another one. Brandon Hawson with 21 in the first half and 6'3".
Harris passes ahead to KJ. Right-hand layup, good, and the foul. A chance at an and one for KJ Adams.
Back under center. Hand it to ETN. Straight ahead. Touchdown! Touchdown! Dogs are SEC champions. Dogs have won it.
Snap, hold, kick on its way. Got the distance, doesn't have the accuracy.
He hit it!
This kid's a 56-yard field goal to send Clemson to the playoffs.
Another quick throw. DeAndre Hopkins backs into the end zone. Touchdown! Kansas City!
I want to make good TV. It's just what I do. It's just what I do.
Hey, good Monday morning, everybody. We're back on the Morning Blitz, as always, here on Rocket 102.5, NWKSradio.net. Also, of course, the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. We are live and on there with you now. So glad you're with us here on this Monday morning. Ross Volkmer and Max Gershon. Partly cloudy and 28. Currently, what's happening right now in our weather world, but a high of 42. Cooler than this weekend. I'm sure Max maybe even found his way out to the golf course at some point in time this weekend. It was so nice. No?
No, I didn't. I didn't realize it was so nice on on Saturday until we went to the parade. And I was like, oh shoot, I could have golfed today, but I didn't. I was watching college football. Really, it's what happened.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. Some really good games there in college football for sure. So I don't blame you for that. But you could have played golf. I'm telling you what, we had a birthday party on Saturday for my youngest who turned 1. We had a birthday gathering, and it was beautiful. I mean, I was cooking on the back porch. It was gorgeous out there. So it was a beautiful. And then Sunday was pretty nice as well. So very, very nice weather, particularly for early December. I mean, not that the weather kind of hasn't changed, in my opinion, over the last few years. I don't feel like it gets really super cold until we get to like January, February, March, and even April. The calendar's kind of rotated like about a month, but it was a beautiful weekend. Hope everyone had a chance to go out there and enjoy it. A full show ahead for us today. Nick Athens going to hop on and join us once again from Chiefs Blitz, talking about another close win for Kansas City. Max's blood pressure was up again, but the Chiefs prevail once more. This time over the Chargers on a last-second field goal by the third different kicker they've had this year. That's going to be my question for Nick Athens. I'm asking him about special teams for Kansas City. Also, we will be diving into plenty of things in the leftovers from whatever we don't get to with our weekend winners and losers, which we're going to start right now.
There are 2 kinds of people in this world.
There's winners and there's losers.
Which ones were which this past weekend?
I want winners.
Loser? You're a loser.
It's the weekend's winners and losers on the Morning Blitz.
Going to be a winner, be a winner.
As always, if you would like to hit us up with your weekend winners and losers, chime in on the F&B Bank text line, 785-899-2222, number part of the Morning Blitz here on this Monday morning. Max, where are you going for weekend winners?
Well, you know what? Let's just go right at it. Kansas City Chiefs and Andy Reid are my weekend winner number 1. Back to 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 back AFC West champions. 9
That's 9
straight.
for those who are taught for who can't count. 9.
That's 9 straight. It's Broncos fans. That's 9 of them in a row for the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, 9 years. Think about that, Ross. I'm 20 years old, so I was 11 when the streak started. I mean, come on. It's special stuff going on. But yeah, another close one. You know what? I don't know why I ever expect anything different than a 17 or than a 18-16 or 19-16 Chiefs victory. I expect something different every week. It's kind of psychotic of me at this point, but I do. But, this team continues to be good when they need to be and lucky when they have to be. And that's been the story all year for this Kansas City Chiefs team. But you know what? They're winners, and they've won the AFC West for the 9th straight time. The Rams also gave them some help to close out that 1 seed a little farther with the 2-game lead. So another weekend. Another Chiefs win, another AFC West championship. So definitely a weekend winner, no matter how ugly it is, Ross. There's still a weekend winner.
It's just what I do. It's just what I do.
It's no doubt that was I mean, it's amazing to me to watch a team that just knows it's going to win no matter what. I've gotten so used to watching a team in my realm that knows it's going to lose, it seems like, no matter what. So to watch a team that just knows it's going to win no matter what is amazing to me. Once again, you're doing this against a Chargers team that I don't think is superiorly loaded. You're doing this against a Raiders team that I don't think is exceptionally loaded. But it doesn't matter. You're beating the teams that are in front of you, and that's what Kansas City is doing. Like I said, the biggest thing to me has been special teams. How good their special teams are has saved the Chiefs this season. Because their offensive line, let's just face it, it's been garbage.
Yep.
That has been a garbage offensive line, and they cannot protect Mahomes. And luckily, Mahomes, thanks to that series Quarterback on Netflix, we're able to learn that, he just kind of does a lot of things to get his body ready to take a pounding because he's taking one this year. Well, he's been sacked, I think, close to almost 40 times this season, which is the most in his career in a single year. So he's really had a tough time. That offensive line has done him no favors whatsoever. And I think because of that, we're seeing guys out there that we're used to seeing having big seasons really struggle, like Travis Kelce. It's been a really bad year for him. I know he had a crucial catch in that game last night to kind of give them the first down so then they could run the clock out. But they know what they're supposed to do, and they know how to go about doing it. I mean, they know that they They know they need to just get a field goal to win this game. We're not going to leave any time. We're going to convert on these third downs and make sure that we don't give any time to our opponents. We'll kick the game winner. The almost sad thing is if that field goal for Matt Wright clanks off the post and does not go through, then you lose that game. It's not like it was tied. It was over.
Right.
So you're kind of playing with fire a little bit there, but it's almost like as if the football gods are like, you've done enough right to this point in time. We're going to let this one go through.
Yeah, I would have scored personally. I would have scored. I would have tried to score at least, but that's just me, and it worked out. So it doesn't matter. But I do want to ask this, Ross. There's a way that teams win games. The Ravens win games when they're running the ball effectively, and then they play off that to go with the deep ball. There's different with the Bills win when their defense plays, it's decent enough where Josh Allen can get the ball at the end of the game and run his way in the end zone. There's different formulas to every good team winning games, but the formula for the Chiefs isn't really a play style. It's just being in close games at the end. It's not really so my question is there an art to the way that the Chiefs are winning this year, or is it just what it is?
I think there is an art to it in some form or fashion, but you don't tell me that they wouldn't want to win games by a score or two.
Right, that's my point. Because they're not trying to win these this way. It just is happening. That's what worries me.
They know. Here's I think the Chiefs are. They know what they are, and they know how they have to do it in order to get it done. I think that's what it is this year. They know what they are. They know that they're not as explosive offensively, more than likely because they just don't have the time to protect Mahomes to have these big, long plays down the field. They know that. They know that defensively, they're a solid team. They're look, over the course and tenure of this Mahomes era, I mean, early on in the Mahomes era, it was a offense first team. We're going to score a bunch of points. We're going to get into some shootouts, and that's how we're going to do that. And Mahomes is going to lead us to do that. And they had Tyreek Hill and all these great weapons. Well, now as the years have gone by, it's not that Mahomes has gotten worse. It's just the fact that I think they've kind of switched. We don't have because we're spending more money on Mahomes, we don't have as much talent around him. So now we need to find a way to make up for that. Well, we're going to play really good defense, and Spags done a great job of developing that defense over the last few years, which used to be a struggling defense, now being one that's really doing a great job of keeping opponents' points down. I mean, they may bend, but they're not breaking. And you're also, of course, playing great special teams with making, and you always have, honestly. Dave Toop's done a great job with them, whether it's punting or kicking field goals. They've always been good in the special teams department. And so they're playing to what they are this year, and give them a lot of credit. There's a lot of teams that try to fit the square peg in the round hole, that try to do what, it's not what they want to do. So they're going to try and do exactly what they want to do, and it may not work. Give them a lot of credit. They're able to say, this is what we are this year, and this is how we're going to have to play to win, and so we're going to do it this way. So like I said, I've been sitting here waiting for like these games where, the Chiefs go off for like 35 points, but I don't think it's going to happen this year. No. I just don't think it's going to happen.
No, it's just not, because I thought it was that game as well. I predicted 35-30 to be the final score. That was not close to the case, but I just want to read these things really quick. Last night was the fourth time Justin Herbert let a go-ahead drive in the last 5 minutes versus Mahomes and still lost the game, which is absurd. Absurd. I say that there's a cut every time we play the Chargers of Herbert defeated at the end of the game with his helmet on the top of his head, just staring off into the distance. Like, I don't know what else I could have done to help win this game. And then Maurice Jones-Drew last night said, it has to, talking about the biggest threat to the Chiefs in the AFC, he said it has to be a team that's willing to win ugly, that finds a way to win even though they shouldn't win. And honestly, I don't know what that team is in the AFC West, or in the AFC, that's willing to play as ugly and has as much confidence late in games as the Chiefs do. But, it's never pretty. It's never pretty.
There's just certain teams that know who they are and they know what they have to do in order to win. My prime example of the Chiefs this year at the collegiate level is kind of like Iowa. And now Iowa doesn't have a quarterback, but Iowa still got to 8 wins this year without a quarterback because they know what they are. We're going to run the football. We're going to play good defense, and we're going to play absolutely unbelievable special teams. And that's when you know what you are, you then play to that. When you don't know what you are, that's a problem. And so you know what you are, you accept it, and you move on. Mike on YouTube has a question. Should we have called timeout with 4 seconds to go and kicked a field goal then, just in case of a bad snap? Then you have 4th down to try it again. We only one more timeout.
We didn't. We only had one. That was the last timeout. We took the last timeout with a second left. So
I know.
If we had more timeouts, Andy Reid would have taken it with like 7 seconds left. But no, we had no timeouts.
Are you questioning Winchester, the snapper? Once again, the special teams have been good.
Well, it almost
once again. I mean,
almost wasn't.
You're going to take that luck because you're on your 3rd kicker this year, and it just about bit you, and it don't get a whole lot closer to biting you. You hit the post, and I think it didn't hit the second post too.
No, it only hit
it just snuck behind the second post. But anyway, crazy win last night for the Chiefs over the Chargers. So Chiefs first win of the weekend for Max. I'm going to go with Goodland basketball as a winner of the weekend. I'm telling you, not that the opponents this past Friday was the toughest that they will play this season, but I thought Goodland Cowboy and Cowgirl basketball looked very, very good in their openers. The Cowboys winning 60-35 in a ball game where they let their foot off the gas late in the 3rd quarter, early in the 4th, and not what you want to do if you're a team, and not what the coach probably wants to see either. But that's just the way it was. But they still looked good. Brady Brumbaugh goes off for 23, looked very, very good. And there's so much depth on that basketball team. It just really blows my mind how good, how much depth there is and size on that Cowboy basketball team. And then for the Goodland Cowgirls, probably the more surprising thing. Once again, the Goodland Cowgirls graduated some great seniors who were massive contributors for them for the last few years. And the Cowgirls just kind of picked up where they left off. They had girls that were role players step up into bigger roles in that first game, and girls that had never really played varsity ball step up and make some big-time shots. Cowgirls hit 8 threes, hit 7 threes, and their season high last year was 8. And so they shot the 3 ball very well. I was just very impressed with the Cowboys and the Cowgirls in their season opener for Goodland High School basketball. Some other scores from this weekend in high school basketball. You had Colby that blasted you. These are girl scores, by the way. Colby took care of Ulysses 63-24. Oakley lost to Peaburg in a most unique way, 36-34. Peaburg had a chance to win the game in the final couple of seconds with a couple of free throws, missed them both. Oakley goes down the floor and gets across half court. And I think, I could be wrong, I don't know exactly how it all happened, and maybe someone will chime in on the text and let us know, but I think the coach called a timeout or tried to call a timeout and didn't have one. And so a technical foul was put on Oakley, which allowed 2 free throws with no time on the clock from Phillipsburg to hit it, and they win 36-34. I think that is what happened. But anyway, that was nuts. Wallace County got the best of Lakin, 49-38. Tri-Plains Brewster blown out at Northern Valley, 67-16. Hoxie beat Norton, 58-25. Shiloh over Golden Plains, 63-34. Quinter beat Victoria, 63-31. Rollins County over Decatur Community, 54-45. And Wheatland Grinnell beat Weskin in the girls' side, 67-29. Boys scores, Colby a win over Ulysses, 59-44. Hoxie lost to Norton, 50-41. Oakley did fall to Peaburg, 58-44. Tri-Plains Brewster lost to Northern Valley, 81-12. My goodness. And Lakin beat Wallace County, 91-31. There's some high scoring there. Shiloh over Golden Plains, 51-45. Quinter over Victoria, 54-42. Decatur Community beat Rollins County, 67-33. And the score of the night, Max, Weskin beat Wheatland Grinnell, 79-30 with 5 days of practice, maybe at most. Oh, there you go. What were your thoughts? Some quick thoughts on Colby on their season opener against Ulysses. Pretty convincing wins.
Well, that was going to be my second winner of the weekend was the Colby basketball program because the girls played phenomenal. But starting off with the girls, this was a great game from Elizabeth Barton. She really, off the tip-off, the first play, tip-off, they win it, fast break layup, and that just set the tone for this entire game. Barton, I believe, she led the way in scoring, and now I'm blanking on how many points she had, which I'm mad at myself at. It might have been 20, 21, maybe? No, it might have been a lot less. I can't remember now. But She definitely led the way in scoring. She played phenomenal. Allie Flanagan played some great defense. I thought the defense was really the best part of this opener for the girls basketball team. They were reading every pass. And again, like you mentioned with Goodland, probably not the best competition, especially on the girls side of things. But that being said, I was very impressed with the girls team just through and through. And that starting five was just really impressive, and I think that they're building on something. Shaylee Holzmeister as well had a good game. Logan Nolan was very impressive, their point guard, the way she kind of facilitated the floor, hit a couple threes as well. She was fantastic.
She's a floor general. She's really good.
I was very impressed with her.
If she can, like I said, if she can hit her threes. Last year, that was the issue. Really struggled with consistency from deep after a great freshman and sophomore campaign doing it. If she can do that, it's another level for that Colby team.
I think she had 2 or 3 3-point. She might have 3 3-pointers. I got to start getting the box score because now I'm forgetting everything.
This is not good.
It's not, but I know they played good. I know they played very good and they blew them out. So, that being said, the men's team. Let's go to the men's team because they also played good. I think that Ulysses men's team was actually pretty good. They looked like they had improved a lot from their last year's record, which was 8-13. But Jordan Jones had a phenomenal game. Guy Tubbs had a great game as well. Jones has a great looking jumper. Boy, he gets up there when he shoots. It's going to be tough for anyone to defend that. The boys team just has so many athletes. It's not that they're, necessarily the most, skilled basketball players. They're very good, but not necessarily the most skilled, but they are strong and they are fast and they are athletic. And when their shots are falling like they did against Ulysses, they are going to be a very, very tough team to play against this year. I truly believe. Guy Tubbs had an insane dunk running from the right corner, baseline to the hoop. That was probably the highlight of the game. Little late run from Ulysses, but nothing too concerning. And so, yeah, I think the Colby basketball team both of them looked very, very promising, as they should have against Ulysses in the first games of the year.
Continuing here on weekend winners on the Morning Blitz, I'm going to go to Colby Community College women's basketball as a winner of the weekend. They got a win this past Saturday over Cowley County, beat them 61-49. That got them to 500 in conference play, 3-3, and 8-4 overall. The thing about the way they're winners of the weekend is because with that win, that was win number 8, that matched the win total from just a season ago when they won 8 the entire year. And if you think about it, they had 9 combined wins over the previous 2 seasons combined. They went 1-27 2 years ago. They won 8 games last year, and they've already won 8 games here in this early part of the season. And I think 12 games in. So big winners of the weekend for Colby Community College women's basketball. They were great. Some other quick winners here for me this weekend. I've got Scotty Scheffler won his 9th tournament of the year this past weekend down in the Bahamas. So he's the first player since Tiger Woods in 2009 to spend the entire calendar year at number 1. He won for the 9th time in 21 starts. Almost half the tournaments that he played in, he won. That included a Masters gold jacket, an Olympic gold medal, a Masters green jacket, an Olympic gold medal, and a FedEx Cup. What a year for Scotty Scheffler. And he had his firstborn this year.
Unbelievable. And he got arrested in Louisville.
Yeah, it was a year for him. And then shout out to Sammy Darnold. 5 touchdowns in the win over the Falcons. Comeback player of the year. Comeback player of the year. I don't know if he's qualified for that, but
I don't know. He should be.
Let's move into weekend losers. What do you got for losers this weekend?
Kansas basketball.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought this up.
I can see, Nick joins, and I can see his face in the bottom of our screen. He's as upset as I am. Ross, you want to read the text that I sent you?
Yes, I would be happy. You know what? For context, I just want to go back. I want to reflect on a show that was just on Friday.
Yeah.
Our very own Maxwell had these beautiful comments to say
he clipped it
from Friday.
I love beating Missouri in basketball because they're
What if you lose to Missouri though?
We're not gonna.
You probably lose to Creighton either.
Well, Creighton there's always a better chance. Missouri does this thing every single time this happens. They start off the year 7-0. Look at their schedule, folks. They've played no one, and they never do to start the year until they play Kansas. They get these like Mickey Mouse ways. So then they're like, oh, we're 7-0. Let's pack the crowd when we play Kansas. And then they'll sell out the what is it, the
Mizzou Arena.
Muck FU or whatever, when they switch the letters around to
Yeah.
FKU or whatever. They sell the shirts. They make a lot of money. Then they lose by 40. It happens. It happens. It happened last time. So I'm not worried. I would love beating Missouri.
That was a great Friday quote from our own friend.
That was painful.
Max. That was wonderful. Thank you, Max Gershon, for that great quote. And then this was Max Sunday morning at 12:47 Central, 11:47 Mountain Time. This is the worst Kansas basketball half I think I've ever seen in my 20 years of life.
It was.
Oh, made me laugh. So
It
good.
was.
And I was so glad I got to clip that from Friday's show.
There was nothing good about it. There was nothing. Well, they had a good run at the end of the game. Whatever. Hunter Dickinson played absolutely garbage in the first half. KJ Adams played garbage in the first half. Everyone played garbage in the first half, and it was too little too late by the end of the game. They missed 7 layups with the last 7 minutes of the game. They couldn't hit a 3-point shot. I mean, they can go on and on, but this is the same thing that's happened for the last 2 years of KU basketball. They can't win on the road. They just cannot win on the road. I don't know what it is, but they play like they are the worst team in the country when they go on the road into a hostile environment. And I tell you what, not going to be the hardest team that they play on the road. They still have to play Iowa State on the road. They got good teams on the road all year. Things need to be changed. My vote, whether it's a popular opinion or not, KJ Adams to the bench. People are going to get mad at me. I already see it coming, but I think he needs to go to the bench, and I think Flory should start. But that's just me. Losers, KU. Me, loser. Big loser for that clip right there, Ross.
Yeah, it was a bad one for you. Look, it was a hard weekend for regional college hoops teams. Kansas, of course, fell 76-67. Excuse me. K-State lost in the Big 12 Big East battle to St. John's, 88-71, despite a career high 27 from Brandhausen. And Nebraska was absolutely just dismantled at Michigan State, 89-52. And Colorado, they were the lone winner of the weekend. They beat Colorado State 72-55. But it was a bad weekend overall for college basketball teams from the region. Any other quick losers you got here this morning?
Let's just leave it at that, I think.
I'll finish up. Alabama football loser of the weekend. They missed the college football playoff. They should have lost. They should have not made the cut. But you think about it. Alabama football has been a part of postseason and the Final Four in college football for many, many years now. But to miss the first 12-team playoff is honestly kind of funny.
Yeah.
But they are losers of the weekend. And once again, I got to throw the Chicago Bears under the bus. Boy, they made a coaching change, and it looked even worse. They lost again yesterday, and had 162 total yards of offense.
Talk about a bad first half, Ross.
I believe
Caleb Williams had
yards.
I think Caleb Williams had -4 yards in the air in the first half. I mean, that's like we're getting to Broncos Russell Wilson territory there. Sorry, I had to throw one more shot into the Broncos.
Be careful. You're playing with fire.
I'm sorry.
You're playing with fire.
I know,
you watch.
I know.
They're gonna beat you, and you ain't gonna be very happy about it.
In week 18 against Carson Wentz, they can have it.
You never know.
They can have it. They can have it against Carson Wentz.
If they beat you in the playoffs.
The playoffs?
The
They're going to be
playoffs?
in the playoffs.
They could be in the playoffs. They're in the playoffs right now.
Sean Payton doesn't win it.
Yeah, you never know. He's got a Super Bowl. What are you talking about? All right.
Only got one.
Anyway, yeah, that's true. Does only have one. Not many people are as good as Coach Reed to rack up multiple. All right, that'll do it here for weekend winners and losers here on a Monday. Let's get to our first break. When we come back, Nick Athens been waiting patiently. He'll join us next to talk about the Chiefs. The doink for the division, as Tirico called it.
Great
I love
call.
it. The doink for the division.
Fantastic
We'll
call by
discuss that next, coming up here on the Morning Blitz on this Monday.
Santa Claus is coming to town, and it's time to write him a letter. December 19th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m., Santa will be live on air reading letters and enjoying holiday tunes. Make sure to write your letters to Santa and drop them off at the Colby Event Center or FMB Bank in Goodland or St. Francis. Santa might just read your letter live on air on 100.3 The Ride and Flyover Country 97.9. So mark your calendars for December 19th and write your letters now, because Santa is coming to radio.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning, this is Kate Thompson with the Anderson Trade Group. Today is Monday, December 9th. On the overnight last night, March corn higher 3/4 cents at 4.40 3/4. May up 1 at 4.46 1/4. July up 1 at 4.48 3/4. September up 1/4 at 4.34. January soybeans up 4.5 on the overnights at 9.98 1/4. March up 4 3/4 at 10.04. May up 4.5 at 10.13 1/4. July up 4 1/4 at 10.24 1/4. Chicago wheat, the March contract higher 6 1/4 on the overnights at 5.63 1/2. May up 6.5 at 5.72. July up 6 1/4 at 5.77 1/2. September up 6 at 5.89 1/4. Kansas City wheat, the March contract higher 5 3/4 at 5.59 1/2. May up 5 at 5.66 1/2. July up 5 1/2 at 5.74 3/4. September up 6 at 5.87 1/4. On the stock market this morning, the Dow up $47 at 44,753. The S&P down 2 at 6,097. The Nasdaq down 33 at 21,623. Gold higher $27 an ounce this morning at 2,687. Crude oil up $1.14 at 68.34. If you have any questions about marketing grain or would like to talk about risk management options, give our Colorado office a call. John Hankey or John Stiles at 970-744-4484, or in our Kansas City office, myself, Tom Pluto, Jared Law, or Tyler Ghosh at 913-748-3000.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
LivestockMarket.com puts you in control when buying or selling commercial livestock, seed stock, or show stock. The easy-to-use online platform at LivestockMarket.com offers private treaty, online auction, and live auction internet bidding. Animals are sold before they ever leave your place. And with LivestockMarket.com, there's no middleman. Buyers connect directly with livestock and hay producers. There's no easier way to find buyers for cattle, sheep, goats, pigs, and hay. Sell on your terms today with LivestockMarket.com.
Goodland, Kansas, 1976 is where it all began for Hayden Outdoors Real Estate. Over 200 brokers and agents from coast to coast. We're still going strong. If you want to sell your farm, ranch, hunting property, needing a land valuation, or in the position to purchase your next property, give our team a call at 866-741-8323. That's 866-741-8323. Or visit HaydenOutdoors.com. Hayden Outdoors is the brand that sells the land.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Miss the weekend action?
Yes, you caught me.
No worries. We've got all the highlights and lowlights covered.
Hey, okay, well, catch me up.
This is the Morning Blitz with Russ Volkmer.
Snaps it. Placement is down. Wright's kick is up. And the kick is good! 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 And the Kansas City Chiefs do it again. The third kicker this season to have a walk-off field goal. And this one wins the game 19-17 and gives the Chiefs 9 consecutive AFC West championships.
The Hall of Famer Mitch Heltis there with the call and the winner of the Doink for the division, as Mike Tirico called it. I absolutely love that. Great call on the part there for Mike Tirico. But the Chiefs are winners last night over the Chargers, and our good friend Nick Atman joins us now on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. Good morning, Nick. Another exciting game last night. Can you tell me, how good is Kansas City special teams to be on your third kicker of the season and still find ways to win? Most teams get down to the second kicker, it's over. But to be the third, it's amazing to me.
It's crazy. And Dave Taub, hold on, sorry guys. And Dave Taub has never got a head coaching gig in the NFL, and he's just been doing it for 25 years. It's remarkable that it's their third kicker, and I think this is the weakest of the three. And then I look up, and he's 4 for 4. I didn't even realize that till after the game. My math is terrible, but he's 4 for 4. He made all his kicks last week. He's got a range of about 50 yards. I mean, Justin Reed had to do kickoffs just to get to the ball, to the goal line or in the end zone. So it's remarkable that here's this kid who's third guy in, and he does the job, and he's expected to do the job. That's the crazy part. When you come to Kansas City and you fill in for somebody, you're expected to do the same job that the person did before you.
Nick, what did you think just initially about DJ Humphries? I know he got hurt, and I don't know what the plan is now going forward, but what did you think about his performance last night?
I thought he struggled early. The first half, he didn't play all that well. And that's to be expected. I mean, he has been off the field since January of last year. I think the Chiefs, I think they designed a few things, when he struggled, they did a lot of chips. I thought he played better in the second half, and then he pulled, we don't know if it's a torn hamstring, strained hamstring, but that's also to be expected, a long layoff. So hopefully it's a short injury timeline. Maybe it's just a strain. Maybe he misses a couple of games and they can get him ready for the postseason. I thought Wanya Morris had a terrific, drive at the end of the game. I watched as he came out, and Travis Kelce headbutted him and said, "You're the man." And he stepped up and he played really well on that last drive, which was critically important. But, God love this team. It's just so much fun to watch.
I don't know why I expect anything different every week. I don't know why. I don't know about you, but I thought we were going to get some high scoring offense. Didn't happen. What was your thoughts on the defense yesterday? Because I find myself being like, man, this doesn't feel like the defense we started the season off. And then I look up at the scoreboard, it's like, all right, they only have 17 points.
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts?
Well, honestly, I thought the defense played pretty well considering, how poorly they played and, or what our perception of them has been in the last few weeks. So I think, Trent McDuffie was the star. I mean, his first half performance, there were a couple of, game-changing plays that he broke up that, would have pushed the score a lot more in the Chargers' favor and probably a Chargers win. And in the second half, I thought their pass rush was a little bit better. I didn't like some of the zone calls, but, I don't think people realize at the end of the game, they lost two more cornerbacks in that football game. And Nazeeh Johnson was out there and had no clue where to go or what to do. And that's why I think the Chiefs were content on not giving the Chargers the ball back, because they knew that secondary couldn't stop them. And thank goodness, McConkey wasn't out there because, it could have been a lot worse. But I think overall the defense played better. Listen, Justin Herbert had a great game yesterday. He he threw to his no-name receivers and no-name tight ends, and they started to run the ball a little bit better. I think the Chiefs defensive line got a little lazy in the third quarter, but they picked it up, and at the end of the day, they held them to a field goal in their last drive, and that was huge, and that's what you're supposed to do.
Nick Athen is our guest here from Chiefs Blitz. I got to ask, and I know it's just been this season, maybe even last year, but I was looking at the plays here. The longest play last night was a 26-yard throw to Juju Smith-Schuster. It's amazing to me that the Chiefs just don't have more explosive plays throughout the course. I know, once again, they're not the same team they've been the last few years, but it's mind-boggling me they just don't get more explosive plays.
They can't. They're just not capable. The offensive line is not good enough. And I'm not going to just blame the tackles. The interior pass blocking last night was poor. And again, until the Chiefs decide that they're going to put 5 maulers on that offensive line and invest the kind of money it's going to take to make that happen, this is what you're going to get. Think about it. You got Juju Smith-Schuster. You got the fastest guy in the NFL in Xavier Worthy. You've got DeAndre Hopkins. Hollywood Brown's going to practice this week. You're going to have him back. And they just can't get out of their own way with their offensive line. And Patrick Mahomes, to his credit, his dad bod took a beating last night. And he was getting hit. I think he got hit, 25 times, 28 times? Compare that to Josh Allen yesterday. He got hit maybe twice. And 2 of those were out of bounds. It's just it's there. They just don't have the time to complete those passes. And with the play with Juju, it was kind of a broken thing. The safety was out of position. Xavier Worthy, he played 87% of the snaps last night. He was virtually uncoverable. And Mahomes just didn't have the time to get him the ball. And for all those that knock that he's not tough enough, he got blasted a couple of times last night and held on to the football. And that's what you want from this kid. So he's becoming that Rashee Rice kind of player. You know, he may not have the body and the size and some of the moves, but this kid is getting open regularly. So if, cross our fingers, you know, I said this last week, if Humphreys can lock down left tackle and now Morris can lock down left tackle, the Chiefs are going to be okay offensively. They'll score 30 points a game. But, you know, until that happens, poor Patrick Mahomes, he's just going to take a beating this year. He's going to earn every penny of his $50-some-odd million contract.
Well, I think you even see, like, when Herbert got hurt yesterday from Bolton's hit, that's the problems you run into when you're not getting enough protection. So it's frightening every time I see Mahomes get hit, and it's that many times a game. I got to hold my breath. But my question, I've got two quickly. Both, I saw you tweet out something about Steven Nelson, a former Chief, possibly with a reunion in Kansas City. I know a lot of Chiefs fans maybe, you know, have their skepticism about Steven Nelson because he had some rough years here. But what's going on with that?
Well, he retired last year, and so he's unretiring. He signed a contract, I think, yesterday. He'll be in town today to take his physical. He's going to need 2 to 3. He's going to need a couple weeks to get ready. So I don't think he's going to play till the Texans game at best. Maybe the Steelers game, which would be interesting because that's where he went from Kansas City. Now, he was a product of the Bob Sutton defense, so I'm not going to hold anything against him. Bob Sutton is arguably, next to Robinson, the 2 worst defensive coordinators in the history of the franchise. And, you know, he screwed him up. But, you know, he got a pretty good contract from Pittsburgh and a pretty good contract with Houston. And he played really, really well for Houston, I thought. I mean, he wasn't really in the, oh my God, look at Steven Nelson giving up another big play kind of category. He played really strong. So I think that's going to be a good move for depth in the postseason. Joshua Williams went out again last night. He was playing really well. I mean, he's just suddenly the lights on for him. And I hope whatever the injury was, and the Chiefs didn't really talk about injuries after the game. So, and I haven't talked to anybody yet this morning, but you know, I hopefully he's okay. And then I can't remember the Taylor, the other cornerback, had one play and he was out. So they're thin, so they can't get anybody. Damian Howard's out there, but the guy's just stupid. He wants $500,000 a game. So I figure by the last 2 weeks, the Chiefs may chuck him $1 million and say, hey, you know, come play for us in the postseason. But I don't know. This kid drives me crazy because he's got so much talent. But he's outpriced himself with everybody. So the Chiefs may be desperate to make something happen. And I think Donovan Smith too might be a reach that the Chiefs make to bring him in on the practice squad in the event that Humphreys is going to be out a while.
Nick Athen, once again, our guest from Chiefs Blitz. Nick, is Sam Darnold open to being comeback player of the year?
It can't go to anybody else, can it?
I mean, my question would be, does he qualify for it? I guess. I think he does, doesn't he?
Yeah, of course he does.
Okay. I want to make sure.
Well, I mean, why wouldn't he? I mean, he's playing terrific football. I mean, to go up against Kirk Cousins and just maul him, you know, the comparison. And I feel bad for Kirk Cousins. He's one of my favorite players in the NFL. He's just a warrior. And for whatever reason, he has just stunk it up. I mean, they were 6-2, 6-3, and now they're 6-7, and they probably won't make the playoffs. So, you know, it's maybe the ownership was right to draft the young quarterback. And I'm a little shocked that he hasn't made his debut yet. So, you know, I think Darnold, to me, if I'm an NFL, this is going to sound crazy, and I say a lot of crazy things on the show. If I'm an NFL team, I pay Sam Darnold before I pay Brock Purdy.
I think it's fair. I agree with you.
That's amazing because Sam Darnold was in San Francisco just
2
years ago or whatever.
And they had their quarterback of the future. And the genius of Kyle Shanahan just did, you know, put all their eggs in the Purdy basket. And the $55-60 million contract that they're talking about with Purdy, if the 49ers do that, they are stupid. If they're smart, they trade Kyle Shanahan to the Chicago Bears for a first and a second round pick, take your losses, rebuild with a younger coach, and make some changes internally. But they are financially overpaying every single great player on that football team. And that's a problem. And if you're going to pay Purdy that kind of money, to me, go sign Sam Darnold and pay him $45 million a year, which he would probably take in a heartbeat. Give him a Justin Herbert kind of contract. I think he's a winner. I always have been. And I've always felt that way. And I really wanted him to come to the Chiefs to maybe work with Andy Reid and, be the backup. But kudos to him. He's just playing great football.
Are the Rams the best 500 team or around there in the league right now? Are they the best middle of the pack team in the league, the Rams?
That was a hell of a game yesterday. That was Chiefs Rams part 2. Josh Allen scores 45 points and he loses. And the Chiefs score 19 and they win. It's just the NFL is crazy, but the Rams, to me, their offensive outburst yesterday was impressive. And I really thought that if that offense plays the way it does against what I thought was a good Bills defense, but maybe they completely exposed the Bills defense yesterday because their secondary looked like trash. The Rams secondary is the worst in the NFL. There's no question about it. And but the Rams offense to me is an offense I don't want to face if I'm Detroit. If I'm the Eagles, because Stafford's such a wild card when he's on. If you watch some of the throws he made yesterday, the spiral was so tight, the lights were gleaming off the football. It's just incredible how this guy throws a football and has done so for 12 years now. He's just talk about comeback player of the year, what he's done. And the Rams, again, their defense is trash, but they just kept scoring points. And, kudos to them for holding on. And then that last touchdown, shame on Sean McDermott. They had 9 guys on the field or 10 guys on the field. No, it was 9. Who does that? Call your time, but he didn't want to call timeout. And it was an easy touchdown for the Rams to make. So the Rams, to me, are going to win the West. The Cardinals, I thought, had a chance, but they just suck. And Seattle, has got a couple of tough games. They've got 3 division games left, including against the Rams. So I like if the Rams tie the Seahawks in the last game of the season, then the Rams win the division.
Nick, I got one more question for you. What is the scenario right now as it stands for the Chiefs to clinch the 1 seed as soon as possible?
Very simple. If the Chiefs win at Cleveland and home against Houston, and the Bills lose against the Lions and the Steelers lose, I think their next game, I can't remember who it's against. I want to say Baltimore. I could be wrong. That's all it takes. So 2 wins and a single loss. That's it. If somehow that happens, then the Chiefs go into the Christmas Day game with their backup quarterback playing, and they go to Denver the week later with their backup quarterback playing, and Mahomes gets some rest.
That's very possible. Detroit versus the Bills and Steelers versus Eagles.
Yeah, that's it. So
tricky.
If both the NFC teams win and the Chiefs beat the Browns and beat the Texans, now I happen to believe that despite the way the Browns looked yesterday, and their defensive secondary is bad and the run defense is terrible, but for some reason at home, the Browns play the good teams really, really tough. They've beaten Baltimore, they've beaten Pittsburgh, they've beaten one other team. So I wouldn't count out as this is an easy, win for Kansas City. I think it might be a little bit more difficult, and based on the way the Chiefs have played over the last month, it's not hard to assume this is going to be a 1-score game at the end, but that's the scenario. So if that happens, everything changes. Hollywood Brown's going to practice this week. He's going to be on the field. Probably my guess would be the Steelers game. Get him some reps against Denver. Get him up to speed on the offense. So that's the best case scenario for the Chiefs. That's what they're banking on right now because they are beat up. They've got a lot of injuries. They got a lot of guys who need time to heal. And this will be a great, month of preparation for the postseason with the bye week and having basically the final 2 games of the regular season off.
He is Nick Athen of Chiefs Blitz, our Monday guest. Nick, thank you so much. Appreciate it, and we'll see you again on Monday.
All right, thanks for not asking me about my KU basketball team.
Well,
I think we covered
we already
it.
took care of Max. He's the sacrificial lamb. Don't worry.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you next Monday.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Once again, Nick Athen, great stuff there from him on ChiefsBlitz.com. All right, we'll get to a break. We'll come back, and we will wrap the show with the leftovers. We'll talk a little Juan Soto, some bowl games, all that coming up. Then leftovers, that's next in the Blitz.
Carbon monoxide, or CO, is a silent killer. CO is a deadly gas with no scent, color, or taste, and common CO sources are poorly vetted gas furnaces, propane space heaters, gas grills, and portable generators, and exhaust from automobiles. It's important to make sure you have a working CO detector in your home. Change your CO detector's batteries each year and check your detector's expiration date and replace as needed. A safety message from Midwest Energy, a customer-owned cooperative making energy work for you.
Merry Christmas from the Farmers State Bank in Oakley. We invite you to stop into our lobby for coffee and cookies throughout the month of December as our small way of saying thank you to our loyal customers. We appreciate your business in 2024 and throughout our 117 years of community banking and look forward to serving you in the new year. Farmers State Bank of Oakley, member FDIC.
The Red Tag Sales Event is going on at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas, and the savings are rolling in. Right now, drive home with 0% APR on select popular Chevy models, making it the perfect time to upgrade. Or take advantage of 1.9% APR for 60 months, plus over $3,700 total value when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Imagine the possibilities in a new Chevy from trucks to SUVs, all with these amazing savings. Stop by Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas, and find your perfect match. Or online at hurlchev.com.
This holiday season, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware has the perfect gifts to make Christmas merry and bright. Need something special for that grill master? Check out their top line of grills and griddles from Blackstone, Traeger, and Weber. Guaranteed to make their holiday sizzle. Stocking stuffers, they've got you covered with tools, gadgets, and must-haves for every DIYer in your life. And tackle winter head-on with their powerful Eco snowblowers, perfect for clearing the way this season. Plus, spruce up your home for the holidays with a fresh coat of Benjamin Moore paint, or get ready for the new year with a stunning remodel. Enjoy the holidays this year with Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, with locations in Goodland and Colby.
From the locker room to your morning commute, it's all sports, all the time.
It's all they talk about.
This is the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
As always, the Monday show has flown on by. Just the last few minutes left to go here in the program. Thanks to all those that have been listening. Appreciate those chiming in on the F&B Bank text line. We had Michael chime in talking about he hopes the Chiefs play the Broncos in the playoffs. Rob talking about how the football gods and Chris Collinsworth have helped the Chiefs there a little bit. Also, shout out to Papa Dave, as well as Mike, listening in, I'm guessing from the Kansas City area. Appreciate those guys tuning on in. And I tell you, I think we just ought to hire Papa Dave to just come be the producer. I mean, he's out there talking with the people. I appreciate that. Just bring him on. Producer? That'd be great. What you think?
Producer? I'm not sure about producing.
Yeah, I love the conversation that he's having. Yeah, you're on the right spot. Thanks for joining us.
He brings some friends. He brings his friends.
Papa Dave, you're the man.
Friends, they get some.
I don't care. It's funny.
It's amazing.
Thanks, Papa Dave, for making me laugh and smile every morning. So shout out to you. I love it. Let's see what else I want to hit to here quickly in the walkout. Oh, I've also got to mention. So we had Weskin head boys basketball coach Val Reese, who is a listener, chime in, and he goes, "We remember talking how Weskin beat Wheatland Grinnell pretty handily despite just 5 days of practice." I'm sorry, I oversold it. They had 2 days of practice. Star player Trey Allen had 1 practice and put in a whopping 37 points in 21 minutes of work.
Respect.
Yeah, respect.
That's all you can say. Respect.
Baller, something like that.
Oh, man.
That's good. On to the leftovers here. Plenty of things. First and foremost, local sports. Ray took first at the Gable Jenkins Invitational in St. Francis on Saturday, but pretty, Ray first, Burlington second, Rollins County third, Goodland fourth, St. Francis and fifth there up in Saney. A lot of area teams went to the Christmas City Classic in Waukene on Friday and Saturday. Colby Oakley girls finished top 4. Goodland finished 9th. Norton won the title, both boys and girls tournaments there in Waukene. And then Colby Wrestling lost to Hoxie 40-22 in a duel Friday. And then on Saturday, Hoxie beat Colby by 40 points at the Hoxie Invitational. Decatur Committee finished in 4th place. Talked about how Colby Committee College women got back to 500 with their win over Cali. The Colby men lost 83-76. Fort Hays Tech Northwest men and women both lost to Butler on the road, 83-54 and 86-49. A tough weekend for them. The college football playoff bracket is out. We'll discuss that more coming up here in the coming days. But bowl games are set. K-State's going to take on Rutgers in the Rate Bowl in Phoenix the day after Christmas.
I haven't heard
Nebraska will be in the Pinstripe Bowl in New York at the Yankee Stadium, where they'll take on Boston College. And then you got Colorado getting BYU in the Alamo Bowl, which I know people are like, what? BYU? And aren't they in the same conference? Yes, but you have to realize bowls have been kind of contractual obligated with certain conferences, even the ones that are gone now. And so it's hard to find teams to play that maybe aren't in your league because they're becoming so big. Well, BYU did not face Colorado in the regular season. In fact, this will be the first time these two teams have met in 36 years.
Wow.
That Colorado and BYU will face off in the Alamo Bowl. And then Colorado State made the bowl season as well. They will take on Miami of Ohio in the Arizona Bowl. By the way, the Pinstripe Bowl, the Alamo Bowl, and the Arizona Bowl all take place on December 28th. For those who are curious. So there you go. A little bit of news in the bowl season. And I tell you, a lot of news out of Kansas football yesterday, Max. Man, changes at offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. Offensive coordinator was great because they didn't like Jeff Grimes. Wisconsin, though, wanted him, so they took him. And now quarterbacks coach Jim Zabrowski is going to take over as the OC. And then Brian Borland decided he's done. He hung it up yesterday. He is stepping down, and they will have the secondaries coach come and be the defensive coordinator, it looks like.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Really appreciate it. It's been a fun ride, Jeff Grimes. Just a great year full of, ups and a lot of downs and just nothing good. Came from the Jeff Grimes short-lived era, but thanks, Wisconsin. Have fun. Hopefully he's great. Hopefully he's fantastic for you guys. They need a good offense. Their offense sucks. So, yeah, I don't know, but I'm glad he's gone, and hopefully the offense looks a lot better next year. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah, so lots of news there. We'll see how Lance Leipold does. I'm not surprised that Lance promotes from within. He's very much about that. He's not about going out and finding guys. That was what was kind of interesting about bringing in Jeff Grimes. Lance is more about promoting within and getting it done. Which, by the way, former KUOC Andy Koltanecki had some great play designs in the Big Ten championship game. God, I love it. Lining up with the tight end looking like a tackle, and the tackle lined up all the way out as a split. Oh, that's great.
They got a good draw, too, in the bracket. I know we'll talk about that.
They did get a great. And like I said, we will talk more about that coming up in the week. We got, 11 days or so to get into that? Pretty about that. So, anyway, we'll get to all that coming up later on this week. On to the walk-off.
A 3-run walk-off home run. A game-winning walk-off with a walk-off.
His second walk-off hit of the season.
In walk-off fashion. That baby's go.
Mike wanted to know if we talk about Juan Soto, but Juan agreeing to a 15-year, $765 million deal with the New York Metropolitans, not the Yankees, yesterday. What are your thoughts, baseball man?
Craziness, so much money, so much expectation for one player. It's almost unfair. And just to stab the Yankees right in the heart a little bit more, they offered him the same year amount for $5 million less dollars. And he was like, nope, I'm out. Goodbye. So craziness. The Mets, will they break this curse? Because they feel like one of those cursed teams that just will never, I don't feel like I'm ever going to see them win because they'll always choke. But hey, they had some magic last year. They've got arguably the best offensive player in the league for his career with one opt-out, I believe in 29. Crazy amount of money. It's just, we're going to see $1 billion contract soon, Ross. We're going to see it.
That's the sick part, I think. We're going to see $1 billion contract for, I don't know. I mean, it's coming.
It's coming soon. It's coming.
There's guys that put their lives on the line in the game of football and other sports that probably need to get paid more. And baseball, you're standing there just trying to hit a pill. Not saying it's not easy because it's hard, but you're right. We're going to see $1 billion contract, and that is going to be ridiculous. And this is overpaying by way too much. I don't care who it is.
What does he have to do? I know we're running out of time. What does he got to do to
Win
Make
5
that
World
worth it.
Series in a row. There you go. That's what
Right,
he
and
has.
5 MVPs too. Crazy.
I guess so.
He's kind of worth it, I guess. He's the best player.
I don't know. No one's worth that. See you tomorrow. You're in the Blitz.